Hello, church organization and leadership class. I'm Terry Elton, and I was the instructor you signed up for. And guess what? Now you don't get one, but you get two.
Two for the price of one.
So KRIS BJORKE, she's going to be joining us in this class. And KRIS, tell us who you are and tell us why are you excited to teach this class?
Okay, first of all, I love everything organization and leadership.
It is true.
It is good. So my name is KRIS BJORKE. I'm glad to be with you all on this journey of learning. I armed with a DMin that I received in 2018, did a lot of my learning around collaborative ministry. And so I love that concept. Most recently, I've served at Churchwide with regard to the youth gathering, which has been most recently canceled. Prior to that, I started and ran a nonprofit ministry that did interim children, youth, and family ministry, and have served in congregations prior to that as well. So spent my life in church ministry and know that your leadership makes a huge difference. And if you can be organized and continue to learn and grow within that, in whatever context you're placed, it'll serve you well.
So KRIS was the first person that I thought of when we were looking for somebody to step in in a quick millisecond.
Do you want to say why?
Because I got a new role here at Luther Seminary. I am now your interim dean of academic affairs. I will still be joining KRIS for the intensive. And as you know, I help set up all the stuff on the front end. So we're going to walk you through the syllabus to kind of go through that. But here's what I want to say about KRIS and about this class. KRIS and I knew each other when we were both doing our first theological degrees and working as lay people in congregations. Both came into ministry with gifts of administration and I've kind of got excited about strategic planning and all of those kinds of things that not everybody gets excited about. But the thing for me that is super fun, both about our individual journeys, but also collectively, but the role of thinking about those things theologically and thinking about how does this advance ministry? Not is this just the most effective way to do this, but is this actually living out our theology or living out our view of church? Or engaging the body of Christ in sharing the ministry.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the spirit behind all of this and why I love this class in our curriculum and why I think the two of us share of this and will be helpful for you. Anything else you want to say?
No, I'm just looking forward to it. And I'm glad you've already started. I know you've been already contacting and telling Terry what you've been up to. And I look forward to getting to know you through your emails and through your video pieces as well.
Yep, and intensive, so all the following. Yep. So we're going to pretend this is your first class, right? Mm-hmm. And today is your first post. And we're going to walk through the outcomes, the assignments, and then just kind of some particular things, especially around the intensive to kind of get you thinking about that. This is one of the courses in our curriculum, one of the few ones that kind of gives you the nuts and bolts about how to lead, not just theologically, but like, how do I do a budget? How do I lead a meeting? Why is church polity important to think about and all those kinds of things? So we want to focus on the organization of church, right? Not just what are you called to be and do, but how do you organize that work? And then how do you do that with a bend towards missional leadership? So that's huge. We're going to both use theory and theology as we think about leadership and cultivating Christian identity and really helping congregations or nonprofit ministries think about vision and strategy of how they're going to live that out. And we're going to invite you in your first unit actually to reflect on your own ability to lead and where your gifts are and where they're not and who you need to partner with to carry that out. Because if we've learned anything, we don't have all the gifts. Nope. And it's better together, yep. Right? So how do you do 100%. That even if it's in your job, right? How do you partner even if it's there? So 5 outcomes you're going to get from this class. 1, you are going to develop a working understanding of various paradigms of understanding leadership theologically and theoretically. And that's going to come together in your final paper. So we'll say more about that, but there's a specific assignment for that. We're going to make you familiar with all kinds of organizational and leadership theories that we want to help you think about. Are they relevant? How are they relevant for ministry and the leadership that you are called to? We're going to have you think about how to help a congregation or ministry develop their missional identity and how to bring people together around a shared vision and strategy to carry that out. I feel like we could say that about Luther right now, but that's another thing. We're also going to help you grow in your ability to administer, to actually lead and manage the ministries faithfully and effectively. And there's a variety of things that will be a lot in the last unit that you do in May. And at the end, we really hope that you will grow deeper in your understanding of yourself as a Christian public leader. Both Chris and I have taught in the public Christian leader arena. Chris is actually teaching that again this semester. And this is one of those ways that adds to the conversation that you already are having there with regard to that. You have already, unit 1, you've already decided and you're doing your personal experiment. I put up a video last weekend around that particular thing, but each Tuesday you will be asked to put a post depending on which of those 3 experiments you're doing. And then Chris will read through those posts and give you feedback with regard to that. If you have any questions around that, you can email Chris, and Chris is now up in Moodle. So your email is in there. The next thing you have, which is coming up right on the heels of that in the month of April, before we get to our intensive, is your book review. The majority of you have already chosen your book in the Google Doc, and in the book review, we're asking you to actually make a video. What I have learned is that people will watch each other's videos way more frequently than they will read a 3 to 5 page paper. So we're asking you to do that. You're not graded on how good your video is, but you are meant to have it 3 to 5 minutes. So you have to be succinct. You can edit if you have those able to do that. But that will be posted by Tuesday the 5th. I'm sorry, is that right? By Tuesday the 5th. And then you have a week to watch everybody else's videos with regard to that.
What I love about that is that you can learn so much about all these other books that you don't have to read. Right. You can just learn from your students, from your partners in learning. So I love that about that. So, and in the intensive, you chose a bunch of different ones.
Yeah, in the intensive, you will get a chance to kind of put those together in conversation, and specifically towards how they might help you think about leading and managing and organizing the ministries that you're called to do. Yeah. In the video, there are 2 particular things that are in the response to the video. Sorry, there's 2 particular things that I want you to highlight in that. 3 things that you learned from watching those others. So you can pick whichever ones you want, but what are 3 things that you learned, and what do you want to learn more about? Maybe you're finding, you know what, having like really good sense of finances actually makes you trustworthy. Maybe that's one of the things you learn. Maybe you need to learn more about that too, right? That's an example of what, or how to empower volunteers. I think about Chris, especially in children, youth, and family ministry over the years, how many times you and I have had to empower volunteers, and how scary that can be.
Yes, because you got to let go of the power, and sometimes it's a little more chaotic, and it's a lot more work than just doing it yourself. I'm sure many of you can relate.
And it's necessary, right? Yep. You can't do it all. You shouldn't empower other people.
You shouldn't do it all. Yes.
And so learning from other people, like how to do that. And that first part will help you in the last unit in May decide which of those kind of management things you might want to go deeper into. So there is a method to this madness. Talk about our intensive in April. The end of April, we're going to be together.
I can't wait for us to be together. I'm hoping the weather is good. Yeah. It could go either way. I mean, honestly, it does. So
Minnesota.
Yep. So we're going to be together, and our rhythm is going to be such that we're going to have, we're going to talk about our readings. So come prepared. The readings are listed out there as Terry has put together this time. We will also have a spiritual practice related to that. We have some of those assigned. We will also invite you to participate in that as well. And then there will be assignments as well. There will be some things that you'll need to bring with you as well. If you notice, especially, there'll be a place for you to bring your governing documents. If you're part of
Saturday.
Part of the ELCA, you bring those from whatever denomination or congregation or nonprofit you're associated with, to bring those governing documents with you when you're thinking about packing up your stuff. Along with your experiment that you're participating in right now, and those sorts of things, that reflection time as well.
For us, we really see this as a joint kind of shared learning. About a third of the time we'll teach. About a third of the time we'll do, I would call flattened learning, right? You're going to share your personal experiences together. You're going to share about the book reviews that you've done. You're going to participate in spiritual practices, that kind of stuff. But another third is you're going to teach each other. There's this flattened kind of conversation where nobody's leading, but there's going to be times that we're going to ask you to actually step out and teach other people. What I've learned in the many times that I've taught this class is that some of you, we all come from different places. Some of you have run businesses, and you can do circles around me on budgeting or on certain aspects of management. Others of you are like, I don't know anything about this, right? All of that is welcome. And we want to have different ways that we can kind of mine the learnings of each other. So you'll see that it's kind of sparse, maybe, on the syllabus. That's because we really want to bring that together for that kind of environment. And you're going to know people online, and you're going to want time to learn together in person. So this will be, I think, hopefully a really fun time to kind of bring together what's happened in the first part and set us up for the last unit.
And I think it really, for those of you, I'm sure most of you have done this online learning before. It just solidifies what you've done on the front end. So I really look forward to how we are going to learn and grow together in this, because I learned so much by being a part of this. So
this is really a community learning venture, even though a lot of it is asynchronous online. And so I hope you kind of lean into that piece of it. The last thing that we want to talk about is the last in the month of May. Now, you've already responded to me rating which of these management things you are most interested in. We are right now, as we speak, working on putting those modules together. We're actually using this as a prototype for our Faith Lead Academy course that is going to be put together. So we are creating 12 different online units. In those 4 weeks, you'll get to pick between 3 of them each week. If you do 1 each week, we don't grade them, you just complete them, you get a B. If you do more than 1 a week, you work your way up towards an A, all right? And so we will share more about that at the intensive, but the topics that you saw earlier are the things that we're developing right now. So things on leading a meeting, on forecasting, on empowering volunteers, HR things, they're all over the board with regard to that. So you'll get to pick the things you're most interested in, which is why we want you to be kind of mining your own curiosity and to kind of wondering about what don't I know that I think I should know for whatever comes next for you and your calling. One other thing I wanted to say about the online units. You can work ahead if you want in that time, but this is a bare minimum. At least finish them by this time. The last thing is your Theology of Leadership paper, which is like your final, that's the final wrap up for this. Any last thoughts, Chris?
Have fun, learn, enjoy the journey. I don't know. I think it's all good. I know that sometimes it's one of many things that you're already doing. So I know sometimes it's just get it done. At the same time, learn what you need to learn for this component. So
amen. And I will say you're never done. I'm never done. I just had a 2-hour budget meeting and I was reminded of all the things I need to learn again about budgets. But in this, be willing to ask the questions of your peers. Maybe they know something that you can mine their learning. Ask of us how we can come and come alongside you in this journey.